Hey,
Hi. Good morning.
good morning. How are you doing? I guess good evening.
Yeah. Yeah, you created a PR and I added a comment just to have a test that can just find that issue would be great.
Oh yeah, sure.
The simplest one, just to not fail again.
Yeah. How's your week been, Nacho?
My week. Sorry, how was my?
Yeah, how was your week? Did you have a good week? Productive?
Yeah,
Stressful?
fine. Yeah, not much. No, just working on some issues. Waiting. Yeah. I think I added some feedback in one of the PRs, and also waiting on the network instrumentation PR.
Oh, cool.
Sergey asked for more reviews, so James Sherlock already had some review. It will be great if some other review can appear there, because it looks like, as it's a big PR and it has some very low level Swift stuff, I think Sergey was not very comfortable just approving that without more knowledge. But yeah, just that.
I'll go through it again and see if there's any cleanup or
Okay.
anything that can be taken care of. Hey, Vinod, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good.
Hello.
Well, I guess I don't know if James is gonna show up. Should we wait a couple more minutes?
Yeah. Okay. Should we start now?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, let me share my screen. Okay. So yeah. So first topic is reviewing last meeting actions, just to know if that be not also. Okay, so last meeting actions, we had the still network instrumentation waiting for approval. I think the type safety is still in the works. No feedback about that. So we'll add them. OTLP exporters are done, at least decided, and Prometheus exporter is in the works.
Yeah, so I spoke with James one-on-one. I chatted with him, and he
Okay.
said he actually did not, spend much time on this as well, because apparently they're using the collector now, so they don't need the.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, I think I'll have to do more research on how to do a remote write. So
Okay. Okay, that's from the
yeah.
meetings. For the beta release plan, still I think same things missing.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to look at the spec compliance matrix yet. Still on my list of things to do.
Yeah, also I started with a blog post. I was checking how other blog posts had been posted. They are basically using the same structure for all the open telemetry announcements, more or less. So yeah, I as network instrumentation must be integrated or merged with the rest of the code. I was not on a rush with that, but yeah, I have more or less the points written but not finished. So I will let you. I will send you a copy, Bryce.
Sure.
So you offered to fix my poor English. So yeah.
Yep. No worries.
Okay. Okay. About the network status information, we talked about keeping that like it was. The code is commented, but it's in the official code. So if someday someone wants just to take on the instrumentation part, all is done. Just that missing. And also the trace propagation between processes is something I did in the last week, and I have added a point just to talk about it and explain how it's done, because I think it's very powerful, but it was very basic to implement. I even added that to a PR that I had with a trace, the trace provider SDK, because it was very simple, in fact. So yeah, that from that last meeting actions. So the next point is price cross-application timestamp disparities. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is an issue that I was running into. Doing or generating some data with Elastic's backend. We've got some like services set up that kind of generate data and stuff like that. Here, let me share my screen here. Could you unshare, Nacho?
Oh yeah.
There we go. Cool. So not anything too exciting to look at here, but so running into this issue where we generate a span on the mobile device and then it sends data to the backend, and there's an issue with the timing between the two clocks, right, on the mobile device and on the backend device, and
okay,
not going to line up quite right. And I was wondering, I haven't bothered digging around in the open telemetry spec, but is there, do you know off the top of your head if there's any sort of spec for compensating for this? I know that. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think the solution for this is modifying the clock you have in OpenTelemetry. There is in the provider SDK, there is a way to modify the clock. So I think it should be modified there using something like an NTP when you create it. I have not done it, but I think it should be that way. I mean, not adding NTP or something like that into the spec itself.
Okay. Yeah. Well,
but,
so the way that at least Elastic has kind of solved this problem is it'll normalize the data coming in from like another service. Like let's say like a web browser has an agent in it or something, and it's sending data to the backend, and it'll normalize the span times based off of the server side span times, because those are generally going to be more accurate than some users watch or phone or laptop or whatever. And then basically timestamp everything based off of the received time that the server got the initial request from, rather than from the agent, or rather than from like the mobile side of things.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm wondering if like it might be better to run everything in offsets. Like I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think you could change the clock if you want, but you could also, I mean, send a tag with your local time, or something like that. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, I wanted to just bring this up.
Or I mean, or sending the offset, or sending your NTP offset as a tag.
Yeah.
Could also work if the backend just modifies times after. Because the rest of the values should be valid. I mean, just the start and end time should be modified. But I think it could also be done changing in the clock.
Okay.
But I have not tried that.
Okay. Yeah. I just figured since this is, I mean, this is going to be a, I'm not sharing anymore. Okay, good. I feel like this is going to be a pretty common problem with any sort of cross, system. Like it might not be as bad between servers, but like anything that's sending data across different systems that are depending on different clocks are going to have this problem. So I would think that it should be in the OpenTelemetry spec on how to deal with this. I'll bring it up at the maintainers meeting and see if they have anything to say about it.
Okay, yeah. I was thinking about open tracing. There was nothing like that. So you had to also or change the clock in the client, or just send the offset.
Yeah. I wonder how how well that'll actually solve any problem, because I feel like at the end of the day, if you have two separate clocks that you're depending on, then they're always going to be misaligned. You can't ever get them exactly synced up.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, because probably your phone is synchronizing every day.
Yeah.
But maybe maybe they are not desynchronizing, but just have a constant offset.
Yeah.
And that's why you might solve it just by adding one constant time. I don't know, but probably the phone should be very precise with time. I mean, they connect with the GPS antennas also, and they must have a very specific time.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's true that when you have short spans, you probably will have a millisecond difference with the server, and if you have like 1 millisecond spans or even shorter, it will show like crap always. But yeah, it's a good question for maintainers. I don't know how they will be solving that.
Yeah.
But there is nothing in the spec especially for that stuff, except maybe changing the clock is the only thing I can think of the spec that could work out of the box.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I mean, I can definitely figure out a solution in R system over here. But if this feels like something that's, you know, going to be a global problem, so it probably should be defined how to deal with this in open telemetry.
Yeah. I mean, it must be a problem for everyone.
All right, that's all I had.
Okay. Next
So the
topic.
the span time is based on when the span is created, not when the span is collected. Is that
Yeah,
how the spec?
it seems like that's the case, right? I don't have a totally I don't have a full knowledge of how like the trace exporter works, but I think it just uses a timestamp from the, you know, from the system clock and, you know, assigns it that. And so, you know, you get the backend has its own clock, and then, you know, iPhone has its own clock, and then they're not going to necessarily line up.
I know. I would think wherever it's collected, you know, whenever it reaches the collector is when. So they don't have a timestamp for when it's collected. I guess it's only when it's created.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Next topic. It was yeah. Let me share. Is the yeah, automatic trace context propagation to child processes. Yeah, this was more or less how I said last week. It's what happens if you have a process that is instrumented, but you launch it as a child of another process. So this allows you to use the instrumentation of the child process as part of your instrumentation of the parent process. So basically, what I added was an environment context propagator that it's based on the standard W33C trace context propagator. That the only things that does is taking the trace parent and trace state from the headers that it will create, or the dictionary created from the B3C, and move it to environment variables with this format. This will be the environment variables. So what it does is that when you create, let me show here. Yeah, the idea is that when the tracer starts, it checks in the environment context propagator if it has in the process info environment, it checks if it has the context and the trace context and the trace state. And if it does, it uses it when it creates a spam in the spam builder. When it gets the parent context, what it does is, if there is no parent context, but it has the environment context, it will assign it as the parent context, just like that. So if you are going to launch a process, you can use the environment. You can inject the environment that will create here in the carrier, add it to the environment of your next process, and it will automatically will take it as the parent.
Cool.
So yeah, that was very, very easy. I mean, it was just adding this line here and just reading on when it initializes, and you can do that. So yeah, just was to show this these small changes. So now there is in the shared state, there is a launch environment context that will probably be nil always, except if there is an environment set. So yeah, that will work for any process. yeah, just that, to show that. And the next topic is network connectivity spec issue.
Yeah. So I opened up a spec proposal for network connectivity, for monitoring, what the network state for the mobile device is. So it'll capture things like, it'll support things for like the carrier name,
Okay.
the network connection type, 2G, 3G, Wi-Fi, and then the various like mobile codes for like country and that sort of thing. I just wanted to let you guys know so that you could, if you wanted to chime in on that convo.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah. Mobile code and country code. Yeah, what's the difference between that? Just for curiosity.
Oh yeah, so the combination of the mobile network code and the mobile country code they're slightly different things. So if you combine them, so actually if you that link there shows a good like breakdown of everything, but combining those two numbers can allow someone to identify exactly like what cell carrier plus like a cell like system that their connection is using.
Okay.
So, working at New Relic, we had some customers who are very interested in this sort of information coming out of their mobile device. So I thought that it would
Oh yeah, so it's the country plus the operator number.
Yeah. And then the other ones are more convenience, like the ISO code, like gives you just a general country information, which is good. And then of course the carrier itself is human readable carrier information.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and then the discussion is about like where exactly it should go in the namespace, and I think that's great.
Okay. Oh, great.
Yeah, but feel free to not show if you have anything that you want to add in there.
Yeah. Also maybe I was thinking more about the status of the network, also as a possibility to add. As I was thinking when I read about network conditions, I was expecting more about if it was what kind of if it had good connection, bad connection, that stuff.
Oh yeah.
Or unconnected or something like that. That was what I thought about conditions, but yeah.
Yeah. So I guess I didn't mention in this, but like I would think that maybe under network effective type that might not be the best name for it, but under that it would say if it was disconnected or not.
Okay.
But I don't know if there's a way to access like the actual signal strength. That would be interesting to see.
I don't really know. That's an area I have not played much. I know they are doing some with that in the Datadog with the RAM instrumentation, but with real user monitoring, they are using something about the network and that. But I have not dig much deep in that area.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I think it's great because these are important information for mobiles, definitely.
Yep.
Great. Okay.
Hey, Bryce,
so
do you also have anything for when the device is offline? Is there something That is something that you can capture.
Oh yeah, I mean you can detect if there's no internet connection, sure. And yeah, and that was part of the intention. I didn't specify that in the actual spec though. So I should probably update it.
Yeah. The only thing with that is that Apple asks you not to check for your network connectivity when implementing network services.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, you have an API to know if you have connection or not before trying something, but Apple actively says not to use that API and configure your network request to wait until you have connection and things like that, instead of actively checking that status. Maybe because of battery consumption or something like that. Maybe they have to switch on some silicon just to check the status or thing like that. But yeah, I mean, it's useful information, but the connectivity thing is something that I remember having read Apple asking people not to use their own framework.
Yeah. So I've written up some instrumentation for this, and the intention is it checks when the network connection is happening. So maybe the hope is any sort of antennas are already all turned on. So maybe it won't be very expensive, but yeah, if that's a problem, that's not good.
Yeah. Okay. So any other topic?
I didn't have anything.
Nope.
Yeah, neither do I. Okay, then we can finish here.
All right.
Okay, let's see if next week we can have a beta released, or at least with everything just ready to create the release. Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, it's like I have that as a I want to reach that point to have something publicly released. We need more people definitely using this stuff, because we are finding some issues that shouldn't appear, and releasing with those parents we will lose credibility. I mean, the project, if you are releasing source code or code that has not been well tested, that's not good. But yeah. Okay.
Right. Thanks.
That's good. Good seeing y'all.
Yeah, good to see you.
Yeah, have a good Thursday, Friday, and weekend.
Yeah.
See y'all.
See you. Bye.